Tonight, we leave behind the noise of the modern world. There are no cars, no phones, no glowing screens, only stone walls, flickering candlelight, and the quiet rhythm of life inside a medieval castle. As you settle comfortably into bed, allow your body to relax. Take a slow breath in and gently breathe out. There is nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do. Tonight, we travel back more than 700 years to a great stone castle standing high upon a hill. Its walls are thick, its towers rise toward the sky. Its gates remain firmly closed against the outside world. Inside those walls, life continues quietly. Servants prepare meals. Guards patrol the battlements. Horses rest within the stables. And somewhere within the castle, another ordinary day is about to begin. So close your eyes if you wish. Allow your thoughts to drift, and let us step through the castle gates together. Chapter 1. Before dawn in the castle. The castle sleeps. Night still blankets the countryside. The moon hangs silently above the towers. A cool breeze moves across the battlements. Torches burn softly beside heavy wooden doors. Most of the people inside the castle remain asleep. The lord of the castle sleeps beneath warm blankets. Servants rest upon simple straw mattresses. Guards sit quietly at their posts. Even the horses in the stables stand peacefully in the darkness. For a few moments, everything feels perfectly still. The stone walls have stood here for generations. They have witnessed wars, harvests, celebrations, and countless ordinary days just like this one. High above the courtyard, a watchman walks slowly along the battlements. His boots echo softly against the stone. Step, step, step. The sound disappears into the darkness. Below, the courtyard remains empty. A wooden cart stands beside a wall. Barrels rest beneath a shelter. A well waits silently at the center of the yard. Nothing moves. Nothing disturbs a peaceful night. Far beyond the castle walls, the surrounding countryside lies asleep. Fields stretch across the landscape. Small villages rest beneath the stars. A distant owl calls from the forest. Its voice drifts across the hills before fading into silence once more. Inside the castle kitchens, yesterday's fires burn low. Only a few glowing embers remain. The air smells faintly with smoke. Soon the cooks will arrive. Soon breakfast preparations will begin. But not yet. For now, the castle remains wrapped in darkness, wrapped in stillness, wrapped in peace. Slowly, the first signs of morning appear. A faint gray light touches the eastern horizon. The stars begin to fade. Birds stir among the trees below the castle hill. Another day is approaching. Another ordinary day within the walls of a medieval castle. And as the sky slowly brightens, life inside the castle begins to awaken. Chapter 2. The castle awakens. The first light of morning slowly appears beyond the eastern hills. Darkness still lingers across the countryside, but the night is beginning to loosen its grip upon the world. High atop the hill, the castle stands silent and strong. Its thick stone walls glow faintly beneath the pale light of dawn. For a few precious moments, the castle remains peaceful. The towers cast long shadows across the courtyard. The great wooden gates remain closed. The flags above the battlements hang motionless in the cool morning air. But soon, the quiet will begin to fade. Because a castle is much more than stone walls and towers. A castle is a living place. A place filled with people. And every one of those people has duties waiting to be performed. Deep within the castle kitchens, a servant opens his eyes. His bed is simple. A straw mattress resting upon the floor. A ruffled blanket covers his shoulders. The room is small and shared with several other servants. One by one, they begin to wake. No alarm clock is needed. Years of routine have trained their bodies to rise before sunrise. The servant sits up slowly. The stone floor feels cold beneath his feet. He rubs his eyes and stretches his arms. Soon the kitchen fires must be lit. Breakfast preparations must begin. Many people within the castle depend upon the work of the kitchen staff. There are guards to feed, servants to feed, guests to feed, and of course, the lord and lady of the castle. The servant dresses quickly and makes his way through a narrow stone corridor. His footsteps echo softly. The corridor is lit by only a few flickering torches. The castle feels like a maze at this hour. Long passageways twist through the ancient stone structure. Heavy wooden doors stand closed on either side. Most people remain asleep behind them. As he enters the kitchen, the familiar smell with smoke greets him. The great fireplace dominates one wall. It is large enough for several people to stand inside. Only a few glowing embers remain from the previous night. The servant kneels beside the hearth, carefully placing dry wood upon the coals. A moment later, tiny flames begin to appear, small at first, then larger still. Soon the fire crackles warmly. The kitchen begins to come alive. Other servants arrive. Some carry buckets of water. Others arrange pots and cooking utensils. A cook enters carrying a basket of vegetables. No one speaks very loudly. The castle is still waking. Outside, the courtyard remains mostly empty. A few guards move slowly across the open space. One pauses beside the well. Another adjusts his cloak against the cool morning air. They have spent the night protecting the castle. Soon their shift will end. Fresh guards will take their place. High upon the battlements, the watchmen continue their patrols. The stone walkway circles the outer walls. From here, they can see far across the surrounding countryside. The view is magnificent. Rolling hills, distant forests, small villages, fields stretching toward the horizon. As the sun rises, golden light begins touching the landscape. The world slowly awakens. A bird lands upon the castle wall. Then another. Soon the morning air fills with birdsong, a pleasant contrast to the silence of the night. Within the stable yard, activity begins as well. The stable master arrives carrying a lantern. Several horses greet him with soft nickers. They recognize the sound of his footsteps. The stable smells of hay and leather. The horses have rested comfortably throughout the night. Now they require food and fresh water. The stable master moves calmly between the stalls. His routine rarely changes. A scoop of grain here, fresh hay there, a gentle pat upon a horse's neck. The animals seem content. The work is repetitive, yet there is something peaceful about repetition. The same tasks, the same sounds, the same rhythm. Day after day, year after year, elsewhere in the castle, more doors begin opening. Servants emerge into the corridors. Some carry candles. Others carry baskets or tools. The quiet castle slowly transforms into a place of movement and activity. The sound of footsteps becomes more common. Voices drift through the hallways. The day has begun. In one of the towers, a young page awakens. His responsibilities are different from those of servants. He is training to become a knight one day. For now, however, his duties are simple. He must assist older knights, clean equipment, carry messages, learn discipline, learn responsibility. He quickly dresses and hurries down a spiral staircase. The stone steps curve tightly around the tower wall. His footsteps echo as he descends. The castle seems enormous from his perspective. Every hallway feels like an adventure. Every room holds a story. The page crosses courtyard just as sunlight begins reaching the highest tower. The golden rays slowly spread downward, touching walls, touching windows, touching the ancient stones that have stood here for centuries. The castle looks beautiful in the morning light, strong, timeless, enduring. The kitchen fires burn brighter now. Fresh bread begins baking. The aroma drifts through nearby corridors, warm and inviting. The smell reaches even the guard stationed near the gatehouse. Breakfast is not far away, and as the sun finally rises above the distant hills, the castle fully awakens. The quiet hours of the night have passed. The day has begun, and life inside the medieval castle continues with familiar rhythm. Chapter 3. Breakfast in the Great Hall. The castle is fully awake now. Sunlight pours through narrow windows cut deep into the stone walls. The chill of early morning is slowly giving way to the warmth of day. Servants move through corridors carrying baskets, wooden trays, and clay jugs. The smell of fresh bread drifts through the castle. The aroma travels from the kitchens, through passageways, and into the heart of the castle itself. The Great Hall. This is the most important room in the castle. It is where meals are served. Guests are welcomed. Important announcements are made. and on special occasions, grand feasts are held. At this early hour, however, the great hall feels calm and peaceful. Long wooden tables stretch across the room. The tables are sturdy and worn from years of use. Countless meals have been shared here. Countless conversations have filled the hall. Above, massive wooden beams support the high ceiling. Banners hang proudly from the walls. Each banner tells part of the castle story. The colors and symbols represent the noble family who lives here. Morning sunlight enters through tall windows. Dust particles drift lazily through the golden beams of light. The atmosphere feels quiet and almost magical. Servants begin preparing the hall for breakfast. Wooden cups are carefully placed on tables. Loaves of bread are arranged neatly. Pitchers of ale and fresh water are carried into the room. Every task is performed with care. Every movement follows a familiar routine. This same scene has taken place hundreds of times before. Soon the first people begin arriving. Several guards enter the hall together. Their night shift has finally ended. After hours spent watching the walls and gates, breakfast is a welcome reward. They sit quietly at one end of the long table. Their conversations remain soft and relaxed. The peaceful mood of the morning encourages calm voices. Nearby, several servants take their places. Castle life is highly organized. Everyone has responsibilities. Everyone has a role to play. From the highest noble to the humblest servant, each person contributes to the daily life of the castle. The doors at the far end of the hall open slowly. A few knights enter. Their clothing is simple this early in the day. No shining armor. No elaborate helmets. Only comfortable tunics and cloaks. Their swords remain sheathed at their sides. Even warriors need peaceful mornings. The knights find seats and begin speaking quietly among themselves. Perhaps they discuss training. Perhaps they discuss hunting. Or perhaps they simply enjoy the calm beginning of another ordinary day. The kitchen staff continue bringing food into the hall. Large baskets filled with bread, fresh butter, cheese made from local milk, bowls of porridge. Simple meals by modern standards, yet nourishing and satisfying. The food reflects the practical nature of medieval life. Everything has a purpose. Everything provides energy for the day's work. The smell of warm bread fills the room. It is impossible not to notice. Freshly baked bread remains one of the most comforting smells in any era. The scent spreads to the great hall, creating an atmosphere of warmth and welcome. At the head of the hall stands a high table. This table sits upon a raised platform. It is reserved for the lord and lady of the castle. From here, they can oversee the hall and the activities of the household. Soon they arrive. The conversations throughout the room grow quieter, not out of fear, but out of respect. The lord of the castle walks calmly toward the high table. His clothing is elegant yet practical. Beside him walks the lady of the castle. Her gown moves gracefully as she crosses the hall. Both take their seats. Breakfast begins. The atmosphere remains relaxed. Unlike the grand feast held during celebrations, breakfast is often a simple affair. People eat quietly. Some speak softly with neighbors. Others enjoy a few peaceful moments before beginning their daily duties. Outside the windows, the castle courtyard grows busier. Workers cross from one building to another. Stable hands care for horses. Messengers prepare for journeys. Craftsmen begin their work. Life continues beyond the walls of the great hall. Yet inside there is a sense of calm, a sense of order, a sense of routine. You can almost hear the gentle sounds of breakfast itself, the breaking of bread, the soft movement of wooden cups upon tables, the occasional crackle from a nearby fireplace, the low murmur of conversation. None of it feels loud. None of it feels hurried. Everything unfolds at a comfortable pace. As the meal continues, sunlight spreads farther across the stone floor. The shadows grow shorter. The day advances. One young page carries a tray carefully between the tables, determined not to spill anything. An older servant smiles as he passes. Small moments like these occur constantly within castle life. Ordinary moments, human moments, the kind of moments that rarely appear in history books, yet they form the foundation of everyday life. The Great Hall may seem impressive with its banners and stone walls, but what truly brings it to life are the people within it. Their routines, their conversations, their shared experiences. The breakfast meal slowly comes to an end. Wooden plates are cleared away. Empty cups are collected. Servants begin tidying the hall once more. The peaceful atmosphere remains. But now a sense of purpose begins to grow. The day lies ahead. Knights will train. Servants will work. Craftsmen will create. Messengers will travel. The castle will continue functioning like a small, self-contained world. For now, however, the final moment of breakfast offers one last opportunity to enjoy the quiet beauty of the morning. The sunlight, the warmth, the smell of bread, the comfort of routine. And as the last crumbs are cleared from the tables, another chapter of life inside the medieval castle gently unfolds. Chapter 4, the castle kitchens. As breakfast comes to an end in the great hall, much of the attention within the castle shifts elsewhere. While knights prepare for training and servants begin their daily duties, one of the busiest places in the entire castle continues its work without pause. The kitchens, hidden behind thick stone walls and connected by a maze of corridors, the castle kitchens are the heart of daily life. Without them, the castle cannot function. Every loaf of bread, every bowl of stew, every feast and celebration begins here. The morning sun shines through a few narrow windows. Its light falls across wooden tables worn smooth by years of use. The room is already warm. Several fires burn continuously within enormous stone hearths. The crackling flames provide both heat and light. Copper pots hang above glowing embers. Large iron kettles gently simmer over open fires. The smell of fresh bread still lingers in the air from breakfast, but preparations for the next meal have already begun. Castle life never truly stops. The kitchen staff moves steadily from one task to another. A cook kneads dough upon a large wooden table. His hands move with practiced skill, the same movements repeated thousands of times throughout his life. Nearby, another servant washes vegetables in a wooden basin filled with cool water. Carrots, onions, turnips, simple ingredients that form the foundation of many medieval meals. The sound of chopping fills the room. Steady, rhythmic, almost soothing. A knife moves carefully across a wooden board, slice after slice. The repetition creates a calming rhythm. Elsewhere, a young kitchen boy carries a basket of herbs freshly gathered from the castle garden. The scent of rosemary, thyme, and sage fills the air. The fresh aroma mixes with smoke and baking bread, creating a fragrance unique to medieval kitchens. Warm, earthy, comforting. The head cook oversees everything. Years of experience have taught him exactly how much food the castle requires. He knows how many loaves must be baked, how many vegetables must be prepared, how much meat must be preserved for future meals. Nothing is wasted. Food is far too valuable. Every ingredient serves a purpose. The kitchen itself feels like a world of constant activity. Yet despite the work being done, there is no sense of chaos. Everyone understands their role. Everyone knows what must be done. The routines have remained largely unchanged for generations. A servant adds fresh wood to one of the fires. Bright sparks briefly rise into the air before disappearing. The flames grow stronger. Their warmth spreads throughout the room. The firelight dances across the stone walls, creating moving shadows that seem almost alive. Nearby, a baker removes several loaves from a large oven. The golden crust cracks softly as they cool. Steam rises into the air. The smell is irresistible. Fresh bread remains one of life's simplest pleasures. Even within a grand castle, it brings comfort to everyone who smells it. Outside the kitchen door, deliveries arrive from the surrounding lands. Farmers bring eggs, milk, fresh vegetables, sometimes fruit when the season allows. The castle depends upon the countryside around it. The relationship is close and important. Without the farms, the castle would have little food. Without the castle, many villagers would lose protection and trade. The two exist together, supporting one another. Inside the pantry, shelves hold carefully stored supplies, sacks of grain, barrels of ale, salted meat, dried beans. Everything is organized with care. The castle must always be prepared, especially for winter. Winter can be difficult. Snow may cover the roads. Travel may become impossible. Food must be stored long before cold weather arrives. The kitchen staff understand this well. Their work today helps ensure the castle remains strong tomorrow. As the morning continues, sunlight slowly moves across the stone floor. The kitchen remains busy. Yet there is something surprisingly peaceful about the scene. Perhaps it is the familiarity. Perhaps it is the rhythm, the steady chopping, the crackling fires, the quiet conversations among workers, the smell of herbs and bread. Together they create an atmosphere that feels warm and comforting, a place where simple tasks become part of something larger. Hours pass gently. The sounds of the castle drift in through nearby corridors. Footsteps, distant voices, the occasional laugh. Life continues beyond the kitchen walls. Yet the kitchen remains at the center of it all, providing food, providing warmth, providing comfort. Many visitors see only the Great Hall, the towers, the impressive stone walls, but few truly understand how important the kitchens are. The castle's strength does not come only from soldiers and defenses. It also comes from the people who work quietly behind the scenes. The cooks, the bakers, the servants. Their efforts sustain everyone else. As midday approaches, preparations for lunch begin in earnest. New ingredients are brought forward. Fresh pots are placed upon the fire. The next meal slowly takes shape. The cycle continues. Meal after meal, day after day, season after season. The kitchen never truly sleeps. Even during the quietest moments, someone is always preparing for what comes next. And as the warm sunlight fills the room and the fires continue to glow, the castle kitchens remain exactly what they have always been, the warm and steady heart of life inside a medieval castle. Chapter 5, The Castle Courtyard. As the morning continues, the castle grows busier with each passing hour. The kitchens remain warm and active. The great hall has grown quiet after breakfast. The towers stand watch over the surrounding countryside. And at the very center of it all lies the castle courtyard. The courtyard is the heart of daily activity. Almost every person living within the castle passes through it at some point during the day. Servants, guards, knights, messengers, craftsmen, stable workers. Everyone eventually finds themselves crossing the open stone space. The courtyard is large and surrounded by towering stone walls. Above, the castle rises in every direction. Tall towers overlook the yard. Wooden balconies extend from upper floors. Narrow windows peer down from thick stone walls. Looking upward, the castle feels enormous, strong, protective, timeless. The morning sun now shines brightly overhead. Its light reflects softly from the pale stone surfaces. The air feels fresh and pleasant. A gentle breeze drifts through the open space, carrying with it the scent of hay, with smoke, horses, and freshly baked bread. At the center of the courtyard stands an old stone well. It has supplied water to the castle for many years, perhaps even generations. A servant approaches carrying 2 empty wooden buckets. She lowers the rope slowly. The bucket disappears into the darkness below. A moment later comes a distant sound of water. Then she begins pulling the rope back upward, hand over hand. Slowly, steadily, the work is familiar, simple, necessary. Life within the castle depends upon clean water. Nearby, several pigeons perch upon the edge of the well. They watch quietly as people come and go throughout the day. Occasionally, one flutters into the air before settling once again upon a nearby wall. The birds seem perfectly at home within the castle, as though they belong here just as much as the people. On one side of the courtyard stands a stable. Its large wooden doors remain open. Inside, horses move calmly within their stalls. The stable smells of fresh hay and leather. A stable hand brushes the coat of a large brown horse. The animal stands quietly, enjoying the attention. Sunlight streams through the open doorway. Dust particles drift lazily through the air. The scene feels peaceful, almost dreamlike. Several horses are being prepared for the day's journeys. Messengers may travel to nearby villages. Visitors may arrive from distant lands. Supplies may need transporting. The horses are an essential part of castle life. Without them, communication would be slow and difficult. A young stable boy carries a bucket of water. His task is small, yet important. Every role within the castle contributes to the larger whole. The boy moves carefully across the stable floor, determined not to spill a drop. Outside, the sounds of work continue. A blacksmith's hammer rings faintly from a nearby workshop. Clang, clang, clang. The sound echoes softly through the courtyard, steady and rhythmic, like a heartbeat. The blacksmith repairs horseshoes, tools, metal fittings. His work helps keep the castle functioning smoothly. Although few visitors notice his workshop, its importance cannot be overstated. The blacksmith's skill touches nearly every aspect of castle life. Nearby, a carpenter carefully repairs a wooden cart. The wheel had become loose during a recent journey. Now he works patiently beneath the morning sun, with shavings curled gently onto the ground beside him. The smell of fresh-cut timber fills the air. The carpenter's movements are calm and deliberate. There is no rush, only careful craftsmanship. Elsewhere in the courtyard, several guards stand near the gatehouse. Their armor gleams softly beneath the sunlight. Long spears rest comfortably in their hands. Their duty is simple: protect the castle, observe visitors, maintain order. Most days pass quietly, yet their presence provides reassurance. The castle feels safe beneath their watchful eyes. The great wooden gate remains closed for now. Its thick timbers are reinforced with iron bands, heavy and imposing, designed to withstand attack if necessary. But today there is no danger, only peace, only routine. A pair of geese wander slowly across the courtyard, completely unconcerned by the activity around them. One pauses beside the well. The other investigates a patch of grass growing between the stones. Their waddling movements bring a small sense of humor to the scene. Even within a powerful medieval castle, simple moments continue to occur. A servant pauses briefly to watch them before returning to work. As the hours pass, sunlight continues moving across the courtyard. The shadows shift slowly along the walls. The day advances at its natural pace. No clocks announce the passing minutes. The movement of the sun provides all the information anyone needs. A messenger emerges from one of the castle buildings. A leather satchel hangs across his shoulder. He pauses briefly near the gatehouse, exchanges a few words with the guards, then prepares for his journey. Soon the gate will open. His horse waits patiently nearby. The messenger's destination may be a neighboring village, perhaps another castle, perhaps a distant town. Whatever the destination, the journey will begin here, in the courtyard, the center of movement, the center of connection, the center of daily life. Looking around, it becomes clear that the courtyard is more than simply an open space. It is where different parts of castle life come together. The kitchens, the stables, the workshops, the gatehouse, the living quarters, all connected through this single place. The courtyard serves as the castle's meeting point, its crossroads, its gathering place. And despite the constant activity, the sense of calm remains. Nothing feels hurried. Nothing feels chaotic. People move with purpose, yet they move at a human pace. A pace shaped by routine, by experience, by the steady rhythm of medieval life. Above, a few clouds drift slowly across the blue sky. Birds circle high above the towers. The breeze continues its gentle journey through the castle grounds. And as another peaceful morning unfolds, the courtyard remains exactly as it has for generations. A place of work, a place of movement, a place of quiet daily life within the walls of a medieval castle. Chapter 6. The Castle Stables. As the morning slowly drifts toward midday, life within the castle continues its familiar rhythm. The courtyard remains busy. The kitchens prepare the next meal. Messengers travel along distant roads. Guards watch from the walls. And tucked beside the outer curtain wall, one of the most important places in the entire castle, quietly carries on with its work. The stables. The stable buildings are long and sturdy. Their wooden beams are darkened by years of use. The scent of hay, leather, and fresh straw fills the air. Sunlight enters through wide doorways and small windows high upon the walls. Dust particles float gently through the beams of light. Everything feels calm. Everything feels peaceful. The horses are awake now. Many stand quietly within their stalls. Others enjoy fresh hay placed before them earlier in the morning. A few softly stamp their hooves against the floor. Others flick their tails lazily. The sounds are gentle, comforting. The stable has its own rhythm, its own language, a language of quiet movements and familiar routines. The stable master walks slowly down the central aisle. Years of experience have taught him everything there is to know about the horses under his care. He knows their personalities, their habits, their strengths, their favorite treats. The horses recognize him immediately. One horse stretches its neck over the stall door as he passes. Another gives a soft nicker of greeting. The stable master smiles. These animals are not simply tools. They are companions, trusted partners in daily life. In the medieval world, horses are incredibly valuable. They carry messengers across long distances. They pull carts filled with supplies. They transport nobles and knights. Without horses, travel would be much slower. Communication would be more difficult. Life itself would move differently. One young stable boy enters carrying a bundle of fresh straw. His task is simple: replace old bedding, keep the stalls clean, ensure the animals remain comfortable. The work requires patience, yet there is something satisfying about it. The stable boy works carefully, one stall at a time, one task at a time. No hurry, no pressure, only steady progress. Nearby, a large chestnut horse lowers its head to eat. The sunlight catches its glossy coat, highlighting rich shades of brown and gold. The animal appears strong and healthy. Its breathing remains slow and calm, content with its surroundings. Outside the stable doors, the countryside stretches beyond the castle walls. Although the horses spend much of their time inside, they can smell the fresh air drifting inward, the scent of grass, the scent of wildflowers, the scent of distant fields. Occasionally, a horse lifts its head and looks toward the doorway, as if dreaming of open meadows beyond the walls. The stable master pauses beside one of the larger stalls. Inside stands a magnificent horse belonging to one of the castle's knights. The animal is powerful, tall and muscular, bred for strength and endurance. Yet even such a mighty creature stands quietly now, enjoying the peaceful morning. The stable master brushes its coat with slow, steady movements. The horse closes its eyes slightly, relaxing beneath the familiar touch. The brush moves through the hair rhythmically, back and forth, back and forth. The repetitive motion feels almost hypnotic. The stable itself seems designed for calmness. The thick wooden walls soften outside sounds. The animals remain relaxed. The workers speak quietly. Even time seems to move more slowly here. A swallow flies through the open doorway, circling briefly beneath the rafters before disappearing once more into the bright daylight. The moment is small, almost insignificant, yet it adds to the peaceful atmosphere. The stable is full of such moments. Simple moments, quiet moments, moments that often go unnoticed. At the far end of the building, several saddles hang neatly upon wooden racks. Leather reins rest beside them. Every piece of equipment is carefully maintained. A damaged saddle could create problems during a journey. A worn strap could fail at an important moment. Attention to detail matters. The stable workers understand this well. One man sits quietly repairing a leather bridle. His fingers move skillfully, thread passing through leather, knot after knot, stitch after stitch. The work requires concentration, but not urgency. Like so many tasks within the castle, it follows a calm and familiar pace. Outside, a church bell rings faintly from a nearby village. Its distant sound drifts across the countryside. The horses barely react. They have heard it countless times before. It is simply another part of the day's soundtrack. The bell fades away. The stable returns to its gentle silence. A bucket of water is carried from stall to stall. Each horse drinks slowly. The cool water glistens beneath the sunlight. Small ripples form upon the surface, then disappear once again. The hours continue passing. The stable remains steady and unchanged. A place of care, a place of responsibility, a place where animals and humans work together in quiet harmony. Outside the castle, travelers move along dusty roads. Farmers work in distant fields. Villages continue their daily routines. Yet within the stable walls, Life feels wonderfully simple. Feed the horses, brush the horses, clean the stalls, repair the equipment. One task after another. One peaceful moment after another. As midday approaches, the sunlight grows warmer. Golden beams stretch farther across the stable floor. The horses remain calm. The workers continue their duties. And the comforting rhythm of life inside the castle stables carries on exactly as it has for generations. A quiet corner of the medieval world, protected by stone walls, filled with gentle sounds, and wrapped in the peaceful atmosphere of another ordinary day inside a medieval castle. Chapter 7, The Blacksmith's Forge. As the sun climbs higher above the castle walls, the day continues its steady journey toward afternoon. The stables remain peaceful. The courtyard remains busy. The kitchens continue preparing food. And not far from the main gate, another important corner of castle life quietly carries on with its work, the blacksmith's forge. At first glance, the forge seems very different from the calm stables. There's fire here, heat, the sound of metal. Yet despite these things, there is still a peaceful rhythm to be found. A rhythm created by repetition, by skill, by patience. The forge is a simple stone building with a high roof. The large doorway remains open, allowing fresh air to drip inside. Sunlight spills across the floor near the entrance. Deeper inside, warm orange light glows from the forge itself. The fire burns steadily, not wildly, not fiercely, simply doing its work. The blacksmith stands nearby. He has spent many years mastering his craft. His hands are strong, his movements confident. Every task follows a familiar pattern. Nothing is rushed, nothing is wasted. Beside the forge stands a large anvil. Its surface has been struck thousands upon thousands of times. It bears the marks of countless projects. Horseshoes, tools, nails, hinges, locks, every piece carefully shaped by skilled hands. The blacksmith places a length of iron into the fire. The metal slowly begins to glow. Dark gray becomes red. Red becomes orange. The transformation happens gradually, patiently, just as it always has. The blacksmith waits, watching carefully. There is no need to hurry. Experience has taught him exactly when the metal is ready. Nearby, a young apprentice observes quietly. He watches every movement, every technique, every detail. One day, he too may become a master craftsman. But for now, he learns through observation, through practice, through patience. The glowing iron is removed from the fire. The blacksmith carries it to the anvil. Then comes the familiar sound of the forge. Clang, a gentle pause. Clang, another pause. Clang. The hammer rises and falls steadily. Not fast, not aggressive, simply rhythmic, measured, predictable. The sound echoes softly throughout the workshop. A comforting rhythm develops, almost like a heartbeat. The apprentice turns a wheel connected to a set of bellows. Fresh air flows into the forge. The fire responds immediately. The flames brighten. The glowing coals become even warmer. Tiny sparks dance briefly before disappearing. The bellows move back and forth, creating another soothing rhythm. The forge is full of such rhythms. The hammer, the bellows, the crackling fire. The sounds blend together into a strangely peaceful melody. Outside, a horse waits patiently beside the workshop. Its owner has brought it for new horseshoes. The animal stands quietly. Its tail sways lazily from side to side. Occasionally, it lowers its head to nibble at a patch of grass. The horse seems entirely unconcerned by the sounds coming from the forge. It has experienced this process many times before. The blacksmith finishes shaping the iron. A new horseshoe slowly emerges. Simple, strong, reliable. The blacksmith examines his work carefully. Years of experience allow him to notice even the smallest imperfections. Quality matters. A well-made horseshoe can protect a horse for many miles of travel. A poorly made one can create problems. The apprentice watches closely, learning not only how to shape metal, but also how to take pride in craftsmanship. Nearby, shelves hold completed items. Rows of horseshoes, bundles of nails, metal tools. Every object serves a practical purpose. Every object contributes to life within the castle. Without the blacksmith, many daily tasks would become much more difficult. Doors could not be repaired. Tools would wear out. Horses could not travel safely. His work touches nearly every corner of castle life. Yet most people rarely think about it. The blacksmith does not seem concerned. He works quietly, content with his role, content with the steady rhythm of his day. Sunlight shifts slowly across the workshop floor. The afternoon approaches. The forge remains warm. The fire continues burning. The smell of hot iron mixes with the sandalwood smoke. It is a distinctive smell, ancient, timeless, a smell that has existed for centuries. A swallow flies past the workshop doorway. Its shadow briefly crosses the floor, then disappears into bright afternoon sky. The blacksmith pauses to drink from a wooden cup. The apprentice takes a moment to rest. The forge grows quieter for a few minutes. Only the sound of the fire remains, crackling softly, glowing steadily. The peaceful pause feels welcome. Soon the work will continue. Another horseshoe, another tool, another simple task. The cycle never truly ends, but neither does it feel exhausting. There is comfort in routine, comfort in familiar work, comfort in knowing exactly what needs to be done. Outside the castle walls, the world continues moving. Farmers tend fields. Travelers journey along roads. Villagers go about their daily lives. Inside the forge, however, time seems to move a little more slowly, a little more gently. The blacksmith returns to his work. The hammer rises. The hammer falls. Clang, pause, clang, pause. The steady rhythm fills the workshop once again. And as warm sunlight shines through the doorway and the fire glows beside the anvil, another peaceful afternoon unfolds within the blacksmith's forge. A place of skill, a place of patience, a place where simple pieces of metal are transformed through care and craftsmanship, and where the gentle rhythms of medieval life continue beneath the protective walls of the castle. Chapter 8. The Castle Chapel. As the afternoon sun shines warmly upon the castle walls, life continues throughout the fortress. The blacksmith works beside his glowing forge. The stable hands care for their horses. The cooks prepare the evening meal. The guards continue their watch from the battlements. Yet hidden away from much of this activity lies one of the quietest places in the entire castle. The chapel, unlike the busy courtyard or the warm kitchens, the chapel is a place of stillness, a place of reflection, a place where the noise of daily life seems to fade away. You walk through a narrow stone corridor. The footsteps echo softly beneath the vaulted ceiling. The sounds of the castle become quieter with every step. Soon you arrive at a heavy wooden door. Simple, ancient, worn smooth by generations of hands. You push it open slowly. The chapel greets you with silence. Not an empty silence, a peaceful silence, a comforting silence. The kind of silence that encourages slow breathing and calm thoughts. Sunlight enters through tall stained glass windows. Colors dance across the stone floor. Blue, red, gold, green. The light shifts gently as clouds move across the sky outside. The effect feels almost magical. Rows of wooden benches stand neatly arranged, their surfaces polished by years of use. Countless people have sat here, nights before journeys, servants before difficult days, families during celebrations, visitors seeking comfort, each person leaving behind only memories. The stone walls feel cool, even during warm afternoons. The air inside the chapel carries a faint scent of beeswax candles and old wood, a pleasant scent, a familiar scent, one that has remained unchanged for many generations. Several candles burn quietly near the altar. Their flames flicker softly, small points of light within the peaceful room. The movement is gentle, hypnotic, almost dreamlike. A lone servant kneels quietly near the front of the chapel, head bowed, hands folded, lost in silent thought. No words disturb the atmosphere. No sudden sounds break the stillness. The chapel seems to invite quietness, invite patience, invite peace. You sit upon one of the benches. The wood feels smooth beneath your hands. The silence wraps around you like a warm blanket. Outside, life continues. But here, time feels slower. The worries and responsibilities of the castle seem distant. For a few moments, there is nothing to do, nothing to fix, nothing to carry, nothing to prepare. Only stillness, only quiet. The afternoon sunlight continues shining through the stained glass windows. Colored patterns drift slowly across the floor. They move so gradually that the change is almost impossible to notice. Minute by minute, hour by hour, the sun continues its journey across the sky. A small bird lands briefly upon the outer window ledge. Its shadow appears for a moment against the colored glass. Then it flies away once more. The chapel remains peaceful. The candles continue burning. Their tiny flames rise and fall gently. The soft crackle of wax occasionally reaches your ears. Tiny sounds, barely noticeable, yet somehow comforting. A priest enters quietly through a side door. His footsteps are slow and measured. He pauses near the altar, arranges a few items, then sits quietly in contemplation. No grand ceremony takes place today. No large gathering. Only the simple rhythm of daily life. Even places of worship have ordinary days. Days of calm routine. Days of peaceful silence. Outside the chapel, distant sounds occasionally drift through the thick stone walls. The faint ringing of a hammer from the forge. A horse calling from the stable. The distant laughter of a servant. Yet these sounds arrive softened and far away, like memories rather than realities. The chapel protects its tranquility. The room itself seems designed for reflection. The high ceiling draws the eye upward. The stained glass fills the space with color. The stone architecture creates a feeling of permanence, a feeling that some things endure beyond the passing of seasons, beyond the passing of years. You sit quietly for a while longer, watching the candlelight, watching the sunlight, listening to the peaceful silence. There is something deeply calming about places like this. Places built not for work, not for defense, not for trade, but simply for quiet thought, for rest, for contemplation. The afternoon slowly continues. The sunlight grows softer. The colored patterns upon the floor begin to shift once again. The shadows lengthen. The day gradually moves toward evening. Eventually, it is time to leave. You stand slowly from the bench, taking one final look around the chapel. The candles still glow softly. The stained glass windows still shine with color. The peaceful silence remains unchanged. You move toward the wooden door, open it gently, and step back into the life of the castle. The sounds of the courtyard return. The movement of daily activity returns. Yet something of the chapel's peace remains with you. A quiet feeling, a calm feeling, a reminder that even within the busy walls of a medieval castle, places of stillness can always be found. And as the afternoon continues beneath the warm sunlight, the chapel remains behind you, silent, peaceful, and waiting patiently for the next visitor who seeks a moment of quiet beneath the ancient stone walls. Chapter 9, The Castle Gardens. Leaving the quiet chapel behind, you step once more into the warm afternoon sunlight. The castle remains busy in many places. Servants move through corridors. Guards patrol the walls. Craftsmen continue their work. Yet tucked away behind a section of the inner walls lies another peaceful corner of castle life, the castle gardens. Many visitors imagine medieval castles as places of stone and steel. Towers, walls, gatehouses, battlements. Yet castles are also places where people live. And wherever people live, beauty often finds a home. The castle gardens provide such a place of color, a place of fragrance, a place of calm. You follow a narrow stone path that winds gently between low garden walls. The sound of the courtyard slowly fades behind you. Ahead, sunlight illuminates rows of carefully tended plants. Flowers bloom in neat beds. Herbs grow in organized patches. Small fruit trees provide welcome shade. The atmosphere feels peaceful from the very first moment. A gentle breeze moves through the garden. The leaves respond with a soft, rustling sound. Not loud, not distracting, simply pleasant. A natural accompaniment to the quiet beauty surrounding you. The gardeners have worked hard to maintain this place. Every flower bed has been carefully arranged. Every pathway kept clean. every plant given the attention it needs. Their efforts transform a simple patch of land into something truly special. You walk slowly along the garden path. There is no need to hurry. The garden seems to encourage slow movement, careful observation, quiet appreciation. Nearby, bright roses bloom beneath the afternoon sun. Their petals display shades of red, pink, and white. The colors appear vivid against the gray stone walls of the castle. The contrast feels striking, nature softening the harsh lines of the fortress. A few bees move lazily between the flowers. Their gentle buzzing drifts through the warm air. The insects seem completely occupied with their work, moving from blossom to blossom, gathering pollen, helping the garden thrive. The sound of their wings creates a soft background melody, steady, peaceful, comforting. Farther along the path, a section of the garden is dedicated to herbs. Rows of rosemary, sage, thyme, and mint grow neatly together. These plants serve an important purpose. The castle kitchens rely upon them for flavor. The healers rely upon them for remedies. The scent of the herbs fills the air. Fresh, earthy, refreshing. You pause beside a patch of lavender. Its purple flowers sway gently in the breeze. The fragrance is subtle yet unmistakable, calming, relaxing, perfectly suited to the peaceful atmosphere of the garden. Nearby, a gardener kneels beside a flower bed, working quietly. His hands move carefully through the soil, removing weeds, checking plants, ensuring everything remains healthy. There is no rush in his movements, only patience, only care, the same care that has shaped this garden over many seasons. The afternoon sunlight filters through the branches of several small fruit trees. Apples hang from the limbs, still growing, still ripening. The harvest remains some weeks away, yet their presence adds another layer of beauty to the landscape. Birds hop among the branches, occasionally stopping to sing. Their songs drift across the garden, blending with the rustling leaves and the distant buzzing of bees. Together, the sounds create a peaceful symphony of nature. A small stone fountain stands near the center of the garden. Water flows gently from its basin. The sound is soft, steady, relaxing. The constant movement of water brings a feeling of life to the garden, a reminder that even within the walls of the castle, nature continues its endless cycle. You sit upon a simple wooden bench near the fountain. The afternoon feels wonderfully calm. Sunlight warms your face. The breeze cools your skin. The scent of flowers surrounds you for a few moments. There is nothing to do except enjoy the beauty of the moment. The castle walls rise beyond the garden, tall, strong, protective. Yet here among the flowers, they seem less imposing, less severe. The garden softens everything around it, bringing color and life to the stone fortress. Time passes gently. The shadows begin growing slightly longer. The sun slowly continues its journey across the sky. The afternoon edges closer toward evening. A butterfly drifts across the path. Its delicate wings catch the sunlight. For a moment, it lands upon a flower, then lifts into the air once more. The movement feels effortless, graceful, almost dreamlike. You continue your walk through the garden. Every corner reveals something beautiful. A cluster of flowers, a singing bird, a sunlit pathway, a quiet bench. Nothing dramatic, nothing extraordinary. Yet somehow these simple details create a feeling of deep contentment. The castle gardens are not designed for defense. They are not designed for work. They exist for another purpose entirely: to provide beauty, to provide peace, to provide a place where people can pause and breathe. As the afternoon slowly fades toward evening, the garden remains exactly what it has always been: a hidden sanctuary within the castle walls, a place of flowers and sunlight, a place of birdsong and flowing water, a place where nature and human care exist together in perfect harmony. And as you take one final look at the colorful flower beds and the gentle fountain, you carry with you the calm and peaceful feeling that only a garden can provide. The day continues, the castle continues, and the quiet beauty of the garden remains behind, glowing softly beneath the golden afternoon sun. Chapter 10. Evening in the Great Hall. The afternoon slowly fades into evening. The golden sunlight that once filled the castle gardens begins to soften. Long shadows stretch across the courtyard. The stone walls glow warmly beneath the setting sun. Throughout the castle, the pace of the day begins to change. The busiest hours are ending. The blacksmith's hammer falls less frequently. The gardeners finish their work. Messengers return from their journeys. Stable hands complete their final tasks. A feeling of calm settles over the castle. The day is slowly drawing to a close. As evening approaches, people begin making their way toward the great hall. The hall looks very different now than it did at breakfast. Morning light has disappeared. In its place, hundreds of candle flames flicker softly throughout the room. Large iron chandeliers hang from the ceiling. Their candles cast a warm golden glow across the stone walls. The great fireplace burns brightly at one end of the hall. Its flames dance behind a stack of burning logs. The fire provides warmth and comfort. The gentle crackling sound fills the room, creating a soothing background melody. The atmosphere feels welcoming, peaceful, comfortable. Long wooden tables once again fill with people. Servants arrange plates and cups. Fresh bread is placed upon the tables. Pitchers of ale and water are carried into the hall. The evening meal is about to begin. Unlike the busy hours of the day, dinner offers an opportunity to slow down, to rest, to share conversation, to enjoy the company of others. The hall gradually fills. Knights return from training. Their duties are finished for the day. Craftsmen arrive from their workshops. Servants take their places. Even some travelers and visitors find seats among the gathering crowd. The castle feels united during these moments. People from many different walks of life sharing the same space, sharing the same meal. The sounds of the hall remain gentle. Low conversations drift through the room. Occasional laughter follows a story. Wooden cups touch tabletops softly. Nothing feels rushed. Nothing feels loud. The mood is calm and relaxed. At the high table, the lord and lady of the castle take their seats. Their presence adds a sense of tradition to the gathering. The meal begins. Large bowls of stew are carried from the kitchens. The rich aroma fills the hall. Fresh vegetables, tender meat, warm broth, simple ingredients transformed into a satisfying meal. Nearby, loaves of bread are broken and shared. Butter is spread upon thick slices. The smell of freshly baked bread mixes with the scent of the fire. The combination feels wonderfully comforting. Outside, darkness continues settling across the countryside. The last traces of daylight fade beyond the castle walls. The stars begin appearing above the towers. Inside the hall, however, warmth and light remain. The candle flames flicker gently. The fireplace glows brightly. The atmosphere feels safe and welcoming. As the meal continues, stories begin to circulate among the tables. One knight describes a recent hunting trip. A traveler shares news from a distant town. A craftsman tells a humorous story about a stubborn mule. The listeners smile quietly. Sometimes they laugh softly. The stories are simple, ordinary, yet they bring people together. Storytelling has always been an important part of human life. Long before books became common, long before screens and technology, people gathered around tables and fires, sharing experiences, sharing memories, sharing stories. The Great Hall provides a perfect setting for such moments. The fire crackles softly. The candles glow warmly. The voices remain gentle and relaxed. The atmosphere encourages listening, encourages connection. A musician enters carrying a simple lute. He finds a quiet place near the fireplace. Soon soft music fills the hall. The melodies are slow and peaceful, perfectly suited to the evening. The notes drift through the room like a gentle breeze, adding another layer of comfort to the gathering. People continue eating, continue talking, continue enjoying the final hours of the day. Yet there is no rush to leave. The evening belongs to relaxation. The hard work of the day has already been completed. Now comes the reward. Warm food, good company, a comfortable place beside the fire. The hours pass almost unnoticed. The meal gradually comes to an end. Plates are cleared away. Empty cups are collected. Some people remain seated, continuing their conversations. Others quietly prepare to retire for night. The hall slowly grows quieter. The stories become fewer, the laughter softer. the music gentler. Beyond the windows, the night sky deepens. Thousands of stars shine above the sleeping countryside. The castle itself feels calmer now, more peaceful, ready for rest. The fireplace continues glowing. Its warmth spreads throughout the room. The candles burn lower, their flame smaller than before. The end of the day approaches. You sit quietly for a moment longer, listening to the crackling fire, watching the dancing candlelight, enjoying the comforting atmosphere of the great hall. It has been a good day, a simple day, a peaceful day, the kind of day that countless people have experienced within these walls over many centuries. Soon the hall will empty, the fires will burn lower, the castle will fall silent. But for now, the evening remains, warm, comfortable, and wonderfully calm. As the final moments of the gathering unfold beneath the golden glow of candlelight, the great hall becomes a place of quiet contentment, a place where the day gently comes to an end, and where the peaceful embrace of night begins to settle over the castle. Chapter 11. Night Watch on the Battlements. The evening gathering in the great hall has slowly come to an end. The final conversations fade into silence. The last notes of music disappear into the warmth of the hall. People retire to their rooms. Servants extinguish candles one by one. The fireplaces burn lower. And throughout the castle, a sense of stillness begins to settle. Outside, night has fully arrived. The sky above the castle is deep and dark. Countless stars shine brightly overhead. Without the glow of modern cities, the heavens appear endless, a vast ocean of light stretching far beyond imagination. High above the courtyard, along the stone battlements, a guard begins his nightly patrol. His duty is simple: watch, observe, protect. Yet tonight, like many nights before it, his watch will be peaceful. The guard walks slowly along the wall. His boots make soft sounds upon the ancient stones. Step, pause. Step, pause. The rhythm is steady, comforting, almost meditative. The battlements provide a magnificent view of the surrounding countryside. Far below, the fields sleep beneath the moonlight. The villages scattered across the landscape have grown quiet. Most windows are dark now. Most people rest peacefully in their homes. Only an occasional candle glows faintly in the distance. The moon hangs above the horizon, large, bright. Silver light spills across the land. The castle walls shine softly beneath its glow. The towers cast long shadows across the courtyard below. Everything feels calm. Everything feels timeless. A gentle breeze drifts across the battlements. The cool night air feels refreshing after the warmth of the great hall. The guard pulls his cloak slightly tighter around his shoulders, not because he is uncomfortable, but because the evening air carries the first hints of nighttime chill. The breeze continues its journey across the countryside, moving through forests, across rivers, over fields, before finally reaching the castle walls. The sound it creates is soft and soothing, a quiet whisper against stone. The guard pauses beside one of the towers, looking outward into the darkness. In the distance, a forest stretches across the landscape. Its trees form a dark silhouette against the moonlit horizon. Occasionally, an owl calls from somewhere among the branches. The sound drifts through the night, lonely, peaceful, ancient. The owl's voice fades slowly into silence. The stars remain brilliant overhead. The guard looks upward for a moment. Many of the constellations are familiar. Night after night, they travel across the sky. Predictable, reliable. The same stars watched over travelers. The same stars guided sailors. The same stars illuminated the lives of countless generations. Their presence feels reassuring, steady, unchanging. Far below, the courtyard lies mostly empty. The well stands silent. The stables are quiet. The workshops are dark. The bustle of daytime activity feels far away now. The castle has entered its resting hours. Only a few lanterns remain lit, small pools of golden light scattered throughout the darkness. The contrast between light and shadow creates a beautiful scene, a peaceful scene, a scene perfectly suited to contemplation. The guard resumes his patrol. The familiar route leads him along the outer wall, past towers, past gatehouses, past narrow windows glowing faintly from within. Each section of the castle has its own character, its own story, yet all are united beneath the calm embrace of night. As he walks, the sound of the world seems distant. A horse shifts quietly within the stable. A wooden shutter creaks softly in the breeze. Somewhere below, a servant closes a door. Then silence returns once more. The quietness feels complete, not empty, not lonely, simply peaceful. The kind of silence that allows thoughts to slow. The kind of silence that encourages rest. Above, clouds drift lazily across part of the sky. For a moment, they pass before the moon. The landscape darkens slightly. Then the moon emerges once again. Its silver light returns to the fields, returns to the walls, returns to the sleeping countryside. The night continues, minute by minute, hour by hour. The guard's footsteps maintain their gentle rhythm. Step, pause, step, pause. There's comfort in repetition, comfort in routine. The same path walked countless times before. The same stars overhead. The same castle standing strong against the passage of time. A shooting star briefly crosses the sky. Its trail glows for only a moment, then disappears into darkness. The night returns to its calm stillness. The guard smiles softly. Such sights are rare, yet beautiful. The countryside remains asleep. The forests remain quiet. The rivers continue flowing unseen through the darkness. Everything seems perfectly at peace. Eventually, the guard reaches the highest section of the battlements. From here, the view stretches farther than anywhere else within the castle. The moonlit landscape appears endless. Fields shimmer beneath silver light. Villages rest quietly among the hills. The world feels vast, yet wonderfully calm. The guard pauses once more, taking a final moment to appreciate the beauty of the night. The stars, the moon, the silence, the cool breeze, all of it combines into something deeply comforting. A reminder that even in a world filled with responsibilities, moments of peace can always be found. And as the castle continues sleeping beneath the stars, the night watch carries on, quietly, patiently, steadily, protecting the peaceful world below while the hours of darkness slowly drift toward dawn. Chapter 12. Falling asleep within the castle walls. The night has grown deep, far below the battlements. The castle rests beneath a blanket of silence. The day's work is finished. The evening meals have ended. The conversations in the great hall have faded into memory. One by one, candles throughout the castle have been extinguished. Only a few remain burning. Their small flames glow softly in the darkness. The castle that felt so busy and alive during the day now seems calm and still, almost as if the ancient stone walls themselves have fallen asleep. The moon hangs high above the towers. Its silver light washes across rooftops, courtyards, and battlements. The shadows it creates are soft and gentle. Nothing feels threatening. Nothing feels hurried. The entire world seems wrapped in quiet peace. Within the castle, people settle into their beds. The lord and lady rest in their chambers. The guards not on duty sleep soundly after long hours of work. Servants curl beneath wool blankets. Stable hands rest after caring for the horses. The cooks finally leave their kitchens behind. Everyone welcomes the comfort of sleep. In a small room beneath one of the towers, a single candle burns beside a wooden bed. Its flame flickers softly, casting warm light across the stone walls. The room is simple. A bed, a chest, a wooden chair. Nothing more is needed. The simplicity feels comforting. Outside the narrow window, the stars continue shining. Thousands upon thousands of tiny lights scattered across the heavens. The same stars that have watched over this castle for centuries. The same stars that have watched over kings and queens, knights and servants, travelers and farmers. Generation after generation, their silent presence feels reassuring. You lie down beneath a warm blanket. The mattress is simple but familiar. The pillow feels soft after a long day. Your body begins to relax. The day's activities slowly drift away. The morning in the great hall, the busy kitchens, the courtyard, the stables, the forge, the gardens, the evening beside the fire, the quiet watch upon the battlements. Each memory gently settles into the background, finished, complete, at peace. The candle beside the bed burns lower. Its flame becomes smaller, softer. The room grows darker, yet somehow even more peaceful. You listen carefully. The castle makes its own quiet sounds during the night. A wooden beam creaks softly. The wind brushes against the outer walls. Far away, an owl calls once from the forest. Then silence returns, deep and comforting. The kind of silence that only exists after midnight. The kind of silence that invites sleep. The moonlight enters through the window. A pale silver beam stretches across the floor. Dust particles drift slowly through the light. The movement is almost impossible to notice. Everything seems to slow down. Everything seems to soften. Your breathing becomes steady, slow, calm, relaxed. The worries of the world feel far away. There are no urgent tasks waiting. No responsibilities demanding attention. Only rest. Only comfort. Only sleep. Outside, the countryside remains still. Fields rest beneath the moon. Villages sleep beneath the stars. The forests stand quietly beneath the night sky. Even the rivers seem to flow more gently. The entire world appears at peace. The castle continues sleeping. The guards upon the walls move quietly through the darkness, their footsteps distant and reassuring. A reminder that all is well. A reminder that you are safe. The ancient stones surrounding you have endured countless seasons, countless winters, countless summers. They have witnessed storms and celebrations, victories and hardships. Yet tonight, they simply stand watch, silent and strong, protecting everyone within. The final candle flickers. Its flame dances once, twice, then grows smaller still. The room becomes illuminated only by moonlight. A soft blue glow fills the chamber. The atmosphere feels dreamlike, almost magical. Your eyes grow heavier. The sounds of the castle drift farther away. The thoughts of the day become quieter. The world becomes softer, more distant. The stars continue shining overhead. The moon watches silently above the towers. The wind moves gently across the battlements. Everything continues exactly as it should. And little by little, you begin to drift. Away from the castle. Away from the stone walls. Away from the day's memories. Into sleep. Deep, comfortable, peaceful sleep. The kind of sleep that comes after a calm and satisfying day. The kind of sleep that feels warm and welcoming. The kind of sleep that medieval people, centuries ago, would have known well. The castle rests. The countryside rests. The night rests. And now you rest too, beneath the same stars, beneath the same moon, within the safety of the ancient castle walls. The darkness feels gentle. The silence feels comforting. The night embraces everything. And as the final moments of wakefulness fade away, another ordinary and beautiful day inside a medieval castle comes to its peaceful end. Good night. Sleep well. And may your dreams be as calm and timeless as the castle resting beneath the stars.